Every year, nearly 1 billion people walk through these doors. They come for the Billy bookcases, they stay for the Poeng chairs, and they finish their pilgrimage with a plate of Swedish meatballs. IKEA is more than a store. It's a cultural phenomenon, a symbol of affordable, democratic design. It feels friendly, simple, and transparent. But while you're busy trying to assemble a dresser with a missing hex key, something much more complex is being assembled behind the scenes. Deep within the balance sheets of this Swedish icon lies a secret that would make a Wall Street hedge fund manager blush. Technically, the IKEA you know and love, the world's largest furniture retailer, is not a business. On paper, it is a charity. Yes, you heard that correctly. A nonprofit foundation dedicated to innovation in the field of architectural and interior design. By funneling billions through a labyrinth of foundations in the Netherlands, secret accounts in Liechtenstein, and holding companies in Luxembourg, IKEA has pulled off the greatest disappearing act in corporate history. This isn't just about saving money on taxes. This is about a founder who was so obsessed with control that he built a financial fortress that neither his heirs nor the taxman could ever tear down. Is this the world's biggest tax scam? Or is it the most brilliant corporate masterpiece ever designed? Today, we go inside the maze to find out. To understand the maze, you have to understand the man who built it, Ingvar Kamprad. Kamprad was a man of fascinating contradictions. By the time he passed away, he was officially one of the wealthiest people on the planet. But he didn't live like a billionaire. He famously drove a rusted 1993 Volvo 240. He flew economy class. He reportedly bought his clothes at flea markets to set an example for his employees. He was known for reusing tea bags and taking salt packets from restaurants. But beneath this frugal farmer persona was a man with a clinical obsession: permanence. Kamprad watched as other great family dynasties crumbled. He saw children fight over inheritances, destroying what their parents built. He saw socialist governments seize chunks of empires through aggressive inheritance taxes. He hated waste, and to Kamprad, paying unnecessary taxes was the ultimate form of waste. In the 1970s, Sweden was becoming a difficult place for a billionaire. The tax rates were skyrocketing to levels that Kamprad felt would kill his business. So he didn't just move the company out of Sweden, he broke it into pieces. He turned IKEA into a ghost, a decentralized entity that exists everywhere and nowhere at the same time. This is where most people get lost. To the public, IKEA is one single brand. In reality, it is two completely separate entities that handshake through a brilliant legal loophole. First, let's look at the retailers. This is called the INGKA Group. This is the company that owns the actual stores you walk into. It employs the staff, pays for the electricity, buys the inventory, and sells you the furniture. But here is the trick. INGKA is owned by the Stichting INGKA Foundation, based in the Netherlands. Because it is a stichting, a special type of Dutch foundation, it doesn't have owners. It has no shareholders to pay dividends to. It cannot be bought on the stock market. It exists purely to reinvest in the company and for charity. By giving the stores to a foundation, Kamprad ensured that his children could never sell the company for quick cash. They can run it, they can sit on the board, but they don't own it. It effectively belongs to itself. But wait, if the foundation owns the stores and the stores make billions in profit, how does the money leave? How does the family get rich? Enter the secret sauce, IKEA systems. While the stores are owned by the Dutch Foundation, the concept is owned by a completely different company called IKEA Systems. IKEA was historically based in Luxembourg and owned by another secretive foundation in Liechtenstein called the INGKA Foundation. This entity owns the IKEA concept and the intellectual property. It owns the trademark, the blue and yellow colors, and even the idea of flat pack furniture. Here is the genius mechanism. Every single IKEA store in the world, even the ones owned by the charity foundation, must pay a 3% royalty fee to IKEA for the right to use the IKEA name and layout. Think of it like this. Imagine you own a lemonade stand. You make $100 in sales, but then you have to pay $3 to a mystery company you also secretly control just for the idea of a lemonade stand. That $3 is an expense for the store, which lowers its taxable profit. By the time the tax man comes to the charity stores in the Netherlands, a massive chunk of the profit has already disappeared as a royalty expense into the shadows of Liechtenstein, where tax rates are virtually non-existent and financial secrecy is the law of the land. For decades, the Stichting INGKA Foundation was technically the wealthiest charity in the world. Its endowment was larger than the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. It held assets worth tens of billions of dollars. Now, if you're a charity, you get massive tax breaks. In many jurisdictions, you pay 0% corporate tax on the money you keep within the foundation. But there's a catch. Charities are supposed to, give money away to help people. For years, investigators looked into where IKEA's charitable money was going. The findings were staggering. While the Gates Foundation was spending billions to eradicate polio and malaria, IKEA's foundation was mostly sitting on it. Their stated goal was the innovation of interior design. It's a loophole you could drive a flat-pack delivery truck through. By defining their charitable purpose so vaguely, they could claim that reinvesting in their own stores to make them better designed was technically advancing the field of design. In 2006, The Economist famously exposed this scheme, noting that the foundation's actual grant-making was paltry compared to its massive size. Only after immense public pressure did IKEA ramp up its actual donations to things like refugees, children's rights, and the environment. But even today, financial experts argue that the primary purpose of the foundation isn't philanthropy. It's tax immunity and hostile takeover protection. Because the foundation has no owner, no one can buy it. Not even a billionaire rival like Amazon. Not even a disgruntled heir. IKEA is a self-owned entity that pays its owner, the INGKA Foundation, billions in royalties, which then sit in a tax-free vault in Liechtenstein. It is a closed-loop system, a perpetual motion machine of wealth that bypasses the treasury of almost every country it operates in. So, the big question, is it illegal? No. In fact, European regulators have spent years trying to find a way to crack the IKEA shell, and for the most part, they've failed. IKEA's lawyers are the best in the world. They've built a structure that complies with the letter of the law while completely sprinting away from the spirit of it. Ingvar Kamprad's genius wasn't just in the furniture design. It was in the realization that structure is power. While the average citizen pays their 20% or 30% in income tax, and the average small business struggles with VAT and payroll, the giants of the world operate in a different dimension. They exist in the in-between, between the borders of the Netherlands and the banks of Liechtenstein. IKEA represents the ultimate triumph of the corporate architect. They've managed to brand themselves as the friendly, sustainable Swedish neighbor while operating like a sovereign wealth fund with a furniture store attached. So the next time you're walking through those winding aisles, the long natural path as IKEA calls it, remember that the maze isn't just in the store. It's in the paperwork. You're not just buying a desk, you're participating in the world's most successful tax-free nonprofit experiment. The meatballs are great. The tax scheme? That's the real masterpiece.